Okay, so framing is complete. Just finished putting those stringers on last night, and down there on that end we have our first sheet of roofing. Let's see if I can get back and get a better shot on it. Yeah, you can see there, first sheet of roofing. There's 14 of those on each side, but we'll go inside. This here is the side walls, and as you can see, the side walls are completely clear. The roof panels block about 40% of the sunlight, so they're 60%ers, they call them. So coming around the front, this is the front section, and right in here is where the sliding glass door will go. You walk in, fish tank will be right here, and that's it. That's how much rain we've had in the last 3 days, about 4 inches. That tank is going to get raised up so the lip of it is even with that ledge. So it'll be up on a platform, and then out of the center there'll be a bulkhead fitting with a center drain that comes out and then comes up into a filter. It'll be a big screen filter, so that'll take the big chunks out. Then the bottom of the filter will drain out, drain along here about 4 feet from the wall, and then from that chair all the way to about that stool, just to the right of that stool, is 7 grow beds. And each of those grow beds has a drain that will drop down, cut across, and drop into that same drain pipe that the fish tank's filter is draining into. So that drain pipe will come along here, like I said, 4 feet off the wall, so a little 6 inches off the floor. Get down to here, it'll turn, and it'll pick up a run that goes up 4 feet off the center poles, and that'll pick up 7 grow beds. And then it will go through, there's a T here, go through the wall, and then that barrel gets moved, and that's where the sump will be buried out there. And I'll show you the sump here in a little bit, but then this tees out through the wall coming from those other planters. It also has a line coming in this way, which picks up 8 planters along this center line, and then there's a 3-foot aisle, and then there'll be 8 planters up that wall, and they'll each have their own branch of the drain line. Comes down, ties in along the back wall, and then goes out, and that's a 3-inch PVC line, that drain. So like I said, that'll drain out to the sump, and this is the sump over here. That is a 500-gallon, sorry I lost you. That's the sump tank. It's a 500-gallon septic tank, small, made for like a trailer or something with a 1-bathroom kind of thing. But that will be buried. There's also got a manhole riser that goes on here, and that'll raise it up 22 inches. So this surface will be about 18 inches below the ground, and that will be over here. Like I showed you when I was looking through the walls, where that burn barrel is sitting right now. So that tank will be buried starting a couple feet off the wall, coming out to here. And then I'm going to over excavate right here. There'll be a 55-gallon drum that's set in the ground, and any overflow, let's say the system gets too much water or has too much water, it will overflow into that 55-gallon drum, and in there will be a sump pump with a float valve like a basement pump, and that's going to pump out to this whole area here where we're planning on putting all them citrus trees, provided we can get them to grow, but they'll irrigate the citrus trees and won't overflow a lot. It would only overflow if the timing, each one of those planters drains independently. So on average, some of them are half full, some of them are full, some of them are empty. But if it ever gets into a weird timing cycle where there's a bunch of them draining all at once, this sump could rise all the way up. That water will go into that tank, and any extra will just get pumped out to the fruit trees. And to water the fruit trees, I'm just going to put a timer in the well house, an irrigation timer, and that'll kick on once a week or so. And I'll have a line coming out here that just drops into that sump. So, turn the water on, the barrel level starts rising, pump kicks on, waters the trees once a week. And then, so yeah, that's the whole system. Up in that corner, it's on the afternoon side, I'm going to have a bench of some kind where I can run water tests and maybe set up some seed trays to sprout, and then there'll also be an area up there where we can just sit and enjoy it. So there will be gutters down both sides of the roof, there and there. First flush devices right here on the ends, and then actually on the other end, sorry, on that end, those lines will join together, and they're going to go, the rainwater I should say, it's going to drain down below ground and come up on this side of the garage. You see some timbers laying there, but in there are going to be 16, maybe 12. I haven't measured that yet, but I'm thinking about either 12 or 16 totes, and there'll be 275-gallon totes. So 16 of those, say, you're looking at a little more than, well, almost 4,000 gallons, somewhere in that range of rainwater. And then, of course, the garage, we're going to have some seamless gutter made that comes along here. That'll tie into the system, and then with the first flush device right here, and then out on the front there'll be another one, and it will drop down and tie into these totes. So at this end of the totes, there's power right there on the other side of that wall in the garage. And what's going to happen is in here is going to be a small pump, and that pump will normally be circulating water through the totes. And it's an aquarium kind of pump. That'll be circulating water around the totes. It'll also be going through a UV sterilizer right here in this box. I'll enclose all these totes. The UV sterilizer, coming out of the UV sterilizer, it can go back to the totes, or it can drop back down into the ground, go all the way up to the end, go into the sump through a float valve. So if the water gets down, say, a foot, then that float valve will lift up, and it will let rainwater into the system. So with 4,000 gallons of rainwater, if we get an inch of rain on that roof, the garage, and the greenhouse, for every inch of rain per square foot, you get 0.6 gallons. So there's 960. There's about I don't know, 1,200, 1,300. So call it 2,000 square feet. For every inch of rain we get, it'll drop 1,200 gallons into the rain barrels. So if you get a good 2-inch event, or 3, these will fill up. And then that rainwater will be available for the greenhouse. The goal is to have enough storage so that I never have to go to well water. Because well water is hard. And we don't want to let the well water run the pH in the system up too high, because then the plants suffer. And we can't use the soft water, the softener water, because that water has sodium in it, and that's very detrimental to plants. So, but it'll be there if we need a backup. We can just manually add it. So anyway, the goal is the rest of the night get the panels cut to length. I have to shave off about 9 inches on each panel. There's 27 of them now. You can see what I had to trim off, that little sliver there. So there they are, all 27 that are left. I got to saw off those ends, pre-drill the holes for the rubber grommeted screws, and then tomorrow our goal is to get them all up on both sides, because it's going to rain on Sunday, and when it rains we have water standing in there. So I'm trying to avoid that. But anyway, I'll put these videos together tonight and put it on YouTube, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.